Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to round one of the 2022 Formula One season here at the Bahrain Grand Prix. Season opener, brand new cars, new drivers, and new places. Should be set for a very exciting race here today. 3 DRS zones here round this 15-turn circuit. Turns 1 and 4, great for overtaking opportunities, as well as turn 14 and 15. And then watch out for turn 10, the acute left-hander. A lot of drivers have been struggling all weekend there. As once we get settled, see the lights get started. Here we go. 1 light, 2 light, 3, 4, 5 lights. And the lights are out, and here we go. Max Verstappen gets off to a clean start. Cuts off Charles Leclerc right in front of him. We see some cars moving around in the back there as they head down into turn 1. Max Verstappen still with the lead. Charles Leclerc slowly behind him. It looks like they almost might have made contact there as they head up into turn 3. Lewis Hamilton overtaking Sergio Perez after getting a slow start there. As he continued down the straight into turn 4, we see a lot of cars fighting in the back there in the middle of the pack. But Max Verstappen still out in front, right behind is Charles Leclerc, as we're on board with Charles Leclerc now. As we see them fight through these S's here, heading down into turn 8. Be quite interesting to see how this all works out for them. See where all the cars follow. These new cars, they're obviously designed to be able to follow each other a lot better, so it'll be quite interesting to see what the races actually look like as we go forward. As we head into this turn 10 where a lot of cars have struggled throughout the weekend. And we actually see some cars going deep there in the back. It looks like the McLaren of Lando Norris and Fernando Alonso as well. A lot of battling happening behind. 3 wide behind between Zhou Guanyu, Yuki Tsunoda, and Alex Albon. Quite exciting stuff. Side by side, Alex Albon, Zhou Guanyu fighting back and forth. Don't normally see this. This is exciting stuff. This is exactly what we want to see from these cars here. They're still side by side, just not giving up. Alex Albon still alongside, going into turn 9. Oh, squeezes him out just a little bit, forces him wide. Oh no, his engine goes. Oh, Alex. Oh, lap 2 of the season, the car already fails on him. Oh, you can't help but feel for him, man. I mean, first race back in F1, and the car just gives up. And he was on pace for quite a strong result, it looked like. Let's take a look at the race start again. This is on board with Lewis Hamilton. As we see, gets the revs up really high. It kind of gets bogged down a little bit. And you'll see Sergio on the left side here just gets a much better start in comparison. And then you see ahead, obviously, Max Verstappen cutting off Charles. And this is on board with Max Verstappen here. It's a decent start. Not the greatest of starts, but still better than what Charles had. And again, immediately just cuts to the inside. And almost locked up a little bit, so he kind of checked up, and again, I almost think you see the wheel spin actually from Max, but I almost think they make contact here, and we'll see. This is on board with Charles Leclerc. Very curious, very curious as we head in here, turn 1. Yeah, they definitely do. I'm amazed we didn't see any damage happen, puncture tire or anything along those lines. And this is on board with David Cheezer, again, starting P18. Does not really get a good start. Gets a little bogged down. It actually falls back to dead last. I wonder how he makes up all these spots. And oh wow, what a dive! Oh, that is so risky. Oh, I can't believe he made that work. Really can't believe he made that work. Gets up to P10 after just 1 turn. This is on board with Alex Albon as we see. Oh man, I mean, imagine just being Alex Albon there. You just see a Haas just coming up the inside like that. We see a little bit more of that too. As it looks like Yuki Tsunoda has gone wide there in turn 10. Lando Norris, Zhou Guanyu, and his teammate Pierre Gasly, although he's fighting back on Pierre. But Lando Norris, Zhou Guanyu managed to go right by. Pierre is not really giving them any space, but Yuki's honestly just fighting right back. You'll love to see it. You'll love to see it. No team orders here. And Yuki looks like he's going to keep the place there. Again, we've seen it all weekend long. We've seen cars struggle in turn 10 there. A lot of cars struggling to get the car slowed down. And they're a lot bigger tires. Looks like Pierre's going to try to make a move on the outside. Not quite going to make it work, though. But he'll have DRS here going down this long straight here as they get into turn 1. Makes the move down on the inside. Although Yuki has DRS too. Pierre looks like he's got a little bit better straight line speed. as Daniel Ricciardo 3 wide going into turn 1. Wow. Oh, God, how did they not make contact? Still 3 wide going into turn 2 and into turn 3. Looks like Yuki backs out as Daniel makes the spot. Pierre gets out a little bit ahead. Yuki fighting back at Daniel Ricciardo, though. Daniel Ricciardo, one of the best of the late breakers, though, on the grid, manages to keep the spot. Wow. That was exciting. Let's get a look at this again. This is on board with Yuki Tsunoda. Yeah, it just struggles that the car slow down. Again, these tires are much larger, so and the cars themselves are a lot heavier. So when you approach it, you kind of have to approach it in just a straight line as you brake. And obviously that's tough to do in that corner. As you see, this is on board with Daniel Ricciardo. Ever the opportunity of this. Oh, what a dive down the inside here. I still don't understand how they don't make contact. Just gets squeezed out just a little bit, so he wasn't able to fight Pierre there. And manages to hold it around the outside here on Yuki. So Yuki Tsunoda dropped about 5 places there. Hasn't pit yet. So he's falling behind Lance Stroll, who also hasn't pit yet. So trying to make a move around the outside. Can he get it to stick? It looks like yes, he can. Crafty old veteran. He has DRS going down the straight, but it looks like Lance Stroll fighting back at him. You see the Canadian here in the Aston Martin going down into turn 1. Fighting back without DRS. It actually gets him back. So what a move. It looked like Fernando actually upset the rear end there a little bit coming out of turn 2 into turn 3. So quite amazing stuff. So we cut to the other Aston Martin here. Sebastian Vettel and Daniel Ricciardo going at it. 2 crafty veterans as well. Obviously not running quite where they would like. We see Sebastian fighting alongside. It's these two going neck and neck. Neither driver willing to give up. It looks like Sebastian just gets ahead of him. Daniel tries to make a move to the inside as well. And still, Sebastian able to... Oh, Daniel. A little bit of wiggle there. Coming out of turn 4. Sebastian able to stay ahead. Battle for about half the track. And you love to see this. We see Charles Leclerc making a move on Max Verstappen. Heading into turn 4. Can he get it to go? I'm sorry. That's heading into... Yes, I'm sorry. That was turn 4. Couldn't quite tell. Into 5 and 6 now as well. Max Verstappen keeps the lead. Stays ahead, but only just. A lot of action happening all over the track. It's tough to follow. It's tough to keep up what's going on. This is what you love to see. Makes my job so much harder, but I love it. Very exciting stuff. Let's take a look at it again. So this is going back. This is where Leclerc got the run on him. He's very close coming out of the final corners. See, tries to make the move on the outside. They actually make contact again. Checks up. Coming out of turn 2. Just felt like he probably couldn't get it to stick. However, got a really good run even after that. I almost wonder if Max checked up as well. Came to the inside, but Max was just able to get it to stick on the outside. Oh, a little bit of oversteer from Charles Leclerc. This is on board with Lance Stroll as well. We saw this before. See Lance just run a little wide there. And these cars, with how low they are to the ground, you know, when you get on these curbs, it essentially almost acts like a skateboard, where you just start grinding those curbs. So here we go. Charles Leclerc, only 0.3 is the gap difference. Definitely close enough to make a move here. As we head down the front straight. Charles Leclerc with DRS goes down the inside, heading into turn 1. Can he get it to stick this time? As we see Max, oh, they make contact again. They make contact again. Max checks up. Charles Leclerc moves ahead into the lead here in the Bahrain Grand Prix. Time is we actually see one of the Haas drivers move ahead of Mick Schumacher. So that's David Chiazar moving ahead up into P8 ahead of Mick. In just about all race, he's been following behind Mick for pretty much the entire race. So very interesting to see that swap. Maybe they feel as though, actually we're going to get a look at it here. Oh, big lock up there from Mick. So that's actually what happened. David was just following closely behind. Nick just locks up really bad. So I'm going to get a replay shot here. This is Sebastian Vettel following behind Nicholas Latifi. Latifi with a little bit of a lock up there in turn 4. Sebastian able to make the easy overtake. Again, not quite running where you would like, but hopefully we're able to see some improvements from him there. Here we go as we see George Russell coming out of the pits now. With Checo coming in early to make that undercut, you almost wonder, will we see Carlos Sainz or Charles Leclerc come in shortly after? We've seen Max Verstappen's in, so is Carlos Sainz, so we were correct. Very next lap, Carlos Sainz coming in, Max Verstappen coming in as well, try to perform that undercut on Charles Leclerc. I'm amazed that they didn't bring Charles in over Carlos, because now there's that chance that Max can perform the undercut on Charles, be able to make the move. Let's see what he does. It's Charles Leclerc. Charles Leclerc is stopped on the track. Turn 10. Charles Leclerc stopped on the track. He starts going again. Oh. Oh, the horror. Falls down into P4, the race leader. Let's see what happens here. Fall behind Aston Martin here, I believe, Lance Stroll. And, oh, just runs wide. It's just behind a back marker. And then stops, obviously, because he has to let these cars go by. I almost wonder if he just struggles to get it back in gear there. And yeah, just runs wide. I mean, you see Lance kind of take the normal racing line rather than backing out. And it cost Charles the lead there. As we look and see, oh, Yuki Tsunoda. Oh, fortunately, Yuki, I mean, this race it's been a rough one for him. Looks like he's out with mechanical failure. Poor Yuki. Again, see, there's Lance Stroll. Does he get out of the way this time? Yes, he does. Yes, he does. It's good to see. That's how it should be. Although some would argue otherwise. Some would argue, hey, they're still racing, let them race. It's almost kind of what happened with him and Charles, but it forced Charles to run wide, and I mean, unfortunately, I think almost cost his race. So a lot of controversy there. So can't have a Formula One race without controversy. Down the main straight. Tries to move past Stroll. Gets right on by him, so we're good there. Comes in. Although, now Stroll is actually fighting back on the inside. Why are you doing that? You're out of position. Man, some questionable moves happening here. Let's see. Charles gets a really good run. He's going to have DRS here. Should be close enough to be able to make a move down this main straight. Has DRS using the overtake. You can see it on the wheel. Makes a move on the outside. Can he get it down into turn 1? Fighting around the outside. Almost gets it to stick. Sort of. Maybe. Turn 2. Nope. Checks out a little bit. But should have DRS here. It's close enough to make the move. Can he get it to happen? Checo fighting on the inside here. Defending hard. As they come down into turn 4. On the outside. Can he get it around? Oh, they're still fighting side by side. Through turn 5, 6, and 7. Oh, still ever so close. Heading into turn 8. Checo stays ahead. Tremendous stuff. Great defense there. And Checo got a decent run. However, once again, Charles Leclerc with DRS closing that gap ever so much. Checo this time doesn't defend the inside, so Charles comes down the inside into turn 1, gets the car slowed down just enough. Fights so close with one another. Coming down to turn 2, Charles has the better line, gets ahead into P3, has DRS still as well, heads into turn 4, and stays ahead. Great stuff, great pass. So again, hopefully we see that as we see Esteban Ocon making an overtake on David Chizar here. Again, Ocon starting P19, took an engine penalty, now has himself 2 points so far. And is running fairly quick, too. There's actually a strong chance he might catch Mick up ahead. So David Chizar, I mean, still running in the points, running for that final point there for the Haas team. So again, I mean, still a really good drive from him. And even Mick Schumacher as well, P8. You know, again, if you're Haas, if you get both cars to finish in points, I mean, you can't help but be ecstatic over that. looking behind from Esteban Alcon's car. Again, already built up about a second gap over David Chizar. So again, I mean, he's had a very quick car, as we can tell. And as we can see. Again, running fairly well. It was Mick Schumacher! Mick Schumacher! He is off. Oh, the commentator curse. Car goes up in smoke. Engine failure. Oh, with about 10 laps to go. This is it. This is us riding on board with him. And it just goes. You can hear it. Can't help but be heartbroken. He's ran such an incredible race. And just ran very well all weekend. Very unfortunate. I mean, you truly do hate to see it. So now we're right on board. Now he has DRS. Through the second DRS straight. Heads into turn 4. Oh, Fernando. Fernando's holding him up a little bit. I think Fernando took that corner wrong. Didn't really know what to do because he had Carlos there. Oh, once again we see a back marker. Hold up one of our drivers. One of our race leaders. I mean, just it's amazing how often we've seen that in this race. Now the gap is back up to 1.4. I mean, you almost wonder, like, does that just ruin Charles's chances at even potentially a P2? Coming out of turns 14 and 15. Max Verstappen is going to win the Bahrain Grand Prix. He's going to win round 1 here of the 2022 season. Carlos Sainz is going to come home P2 with Charles Leclerc coming home P3. Sergio Perez comes home in P4. Love to see it. Both Russell scores points in his first drive with Mercedes. David Chizar as well, the rookie. Haas gets their first points in years. As we see the Red Bull team celebrating their win today. Again, tremendous drive from Max Verstappen.